Hello, Jen. All right. So
good
we're
morning
back.
again. It went black, but then yes, you may, honey. That's fine. Yeah, but
Yeah, went
yes,
black. So
went black, but I guess
forgive
we're just
us,
going to
sorry.
assume that it is still
It's
rocking and rolling.
Well, we won't be able
whatever.
to see if there's any comments or anything.
So, good morning, little loves, little chicken nuggets. How was your weekend? What was the best part of your weekend?
I had a daddy-daughter date on Saturday. I got to spend the day with the little birdie. That was exciting. Très exciting.
What was the best part about that, you think?
The best part, it was all great. I mean, she listened. We went
That's
to.
always good when they listen, right?
She went to the gym, right? Came to the gym with me, and then what else did we do? Oh, we had ice cream, and we went
pizza.
to. Yeah,
we
had
you guys
pizza.
had a really
Ice cream pizza,
great.
and we went to Goodwill.
Thrifting, little thrift action.
Yeah,
Can't beat that with a stick.
No, and then what did we? And then
I wonder where that saying's from. Can't beat that with a stick. I think it's
probably
something to do with it's not a cool saying, and I should stop saying it because a lot of the time I find out about these sayings and I'm like, oh my God, that's where that came from, and I never want to say it again.
Rule of thumb.
Yeah, like the rule of thumb. The rule of thumb was like how much you can keep a woman under your thumb, correct? Or something like that. Anyway,
it was you could hit her
with a stick
no wider than your thumb.
That's where the rule of thumb came from.
Yeah,
you could hit a woman with a stick no wider than the rule of your thumb. Okay, no, so let's not say these things anymore. All right, so
where it came
my
from.
weekend was really great. Saturday, I had a VIP day with somebody. One of my beloved clients flew in, and we spent the whole entire day together on Saturday. And we just got underneath the hood of challenges that she was having. And I don't talk a lot about my clients because their anonymity is really important to me. But sometimes they'll chime in and say, oh, I'm a client. So I'm not going to give details. But what I am going to say is it was truly miraculous. There's no better feeling than at the end of that day spent with somebody that's that intensive for them to walk away with the kind of aha or the epiphany. Mm-hmm. So that filled me up, and I was so grateful to be able to do that. And for you to create the space, being a team,
mm-hmm.
so that I could do that, spend the entire day with her, which was awesome. If you're interested in a VIP day and you're curious about what that would look like for relationships or business or anything that you have going on, just send me a message and I can tell you more about how it works. I'd love to spend the day with you. But today we're going to talk about 2 decisions that you can make that will literally change your life. And everybody say, oh, it's going to change your life. I can turn on an infomercial and watch a grilled cheesemaker that's going to change my life.
It does.
Some grilled cheesemakers, I guess, do change your life if they're really good ones. And, and this
but the George Foreman grill,
this eyebrow pencil is going to change your life. Okay.
But wait,
there's more. But this will change your life in a real way, the real deal.
And by the way, they are simple, not necessarily easy.
Oh, they're the hardest things in the world. They're the 2 hardest things that we do. That's why nobody does them. But they're simple. The first thing, there are 2 D's today. We're going to give you the D, and the 2 things. Aren't you happy?
Mm-hmm.
Some of you haven't gotten a D in a long time. Anyway, I digress. That's another D. D's. The first D that you're going to take home this week and charge into the sunset with is decisions. And so there's probably nothing more important than what you're going to be deciding today.
And that is a muscle that we need to exercise. I think sometimes we spend a whole lot of time hemming and hawing and thinking about things rather than just deciding, because we get so locked into a story like, well, what if this, what if that, what if this? And then we start going through this whole kind of challenge of thinking about making a decision. And that, in fact, is a decision in and of itself, which is not necessarily the most effective decision that you and I could be making.
Have you ever made a decision in your life where you made that decision and let us know that you pulled the trigger and you never look back? We could probably think of 1 or 2 things in our lives that we made a decision about that we just had enough, right? We reached that boiling point and was like, that's it, never again, or come to Jesus moment, our watershed moment, right? And it's unfortunate sometimes that it does take that kind of epiphany kind of breakdown to the breakthrough where we finally make these big decisions. But I have to tell you, it's the little tiny decisions that we're making all day long that really make up our life. Sure, those watershed come to Jesus moments are impactful and awesome, but it's the everyday decisions. How early I'm going to wake up. Will I go to the gym today? What will I choose to focus on today? How will I spend my time? Those decisions are the things that you were in the perpetual process of becoming, right?
So what could we do to start working the decision muscle, right? Because it's so important is little decisions. Start working on those little decisions. Like something simple, like Heidi shared about getting up, make a decision. We're going to get up at X and do it. Now we'll get to that. The next is like even something simple as like ordering food. Some people take like hours looking at the menu and they're just like, and they don't make a decision. And then finally comes the waiter's like, okay, come on, I've been waiting all day here, right? And you got other people at the table going like, just order something. So maybe just ordering quickly is an idea.
I have an idea too. I think how we're going to make decisions today is, here's what we want you to do today. The easiest way for you to figure out what decisions you need to make and what you can do is to figure out what you're no longer willing to do. So make a list of all the things you're no longer willing to settle for or tolerate today, and your decisions will be the opposite, right? Let's say, for example, you decide this morning, you go, yep, Heidi, yep, Doug, this morning I'm gonna decide, make some new decisions. And the first thing on my list is I'm unwilling to settle for this body that I live in. Well, you have a whole list of decisions that need to come from that one decision, right? Okay, that means I need to decide what time I'm going to wake up, what kind of program I'm going to engage in, what kind of support I'm going to get.
What time I'm going to stop eating.
Right. So here's the thing. The decision, I'll tell you a decision I made that was a radical decision, probably the hardest decision of my life. Two of them, they were that, and I never looked back. The first decision was to quit drinking almost 9 years ago, where I said, that's it. I've had my last drink. That's a decision that I don't remake every single day. I don't wake up and take it one day at a time where I go, will I drink today? That's off the table as an option. I already decided that I'm never going to drink again. And so when you make a true decision, you cut yourself off from any other possibility. You don't teeter around and go, maybe today's the day. No, it's never the day. So I make the decision once. But the trick is I manage that decision every single day. And what people get hung up on is in there has to be one way, right? As long as I make a decision, it doesn't matter how it looks. I'm going to change my approach multiple times within that course, remain flexible like the willow tree. But the decision is already made once, losing weight. If I make a decision to lose weight, take 50 pounds off my body, release 50 pounds, that's a decision I'm going to make one time. I'm going to manage that decision every day with the second D is discipline. And that's the dirty word that nobody wants to talk about, discipline. Especially if you're like me, I grew up where discipline wasn't pretty. Okay. It wasn't a fun thing. It wasn't a loving discipline. It was no, it was run, hide. Oh my God, I'm in for it. And so I didn't like that word for a long time, and I ran from it. I only wanted to do what felt right. That's why I developed a dependency on alcohol, because I just wanted to do what felt right all the time. Right?
Well, right, and that's what we get. So
felt good.
That the word discipline has been equated to punishment,
right?
As opposed to what it really means is
loving yourself.
Yeah, and taking consistent action. So the discipline is correcting course in that context, but it's not a punishment. And if your relationship with the word is, that means punishment, then you're going to have a really difficult time creating the energy necessary. So one of the first conversations is, what is your relationship with discipline? Can you learn to love discipline and get excited by the opportunity to be disciplined in your approach, to be committed to the outcome that you are seeking? Then the discipline of taking the consistent action, using the consistent focus on what it is you want to experience is going to make the outcome that much sweeter, that much quicker, that much more elegant.
Yeah. For example, I know that I want to be disciplined. I need to be disciplined because I want to quit drinking per se, or let's just lose weight. Okay. So discipline's a dirty word. Oh, I need to go to the gym and do this, and I need to eat this particular food. There is a way because your discipline is really your habits. It's really your daily life that's your discipline, right? In Taoism, it's called a daily gong, like things that you do every single day. I can pick things I actually like to do. I can pick things, and I should pick things I actually like to do. I remember when I was first quit drinking, everybody was like, oh, you got to go to AA. That's the way. And I was like, I don't like AA. No offense. I love it for people that it's successful for. But for me, that wasn't the path. I didn't want it. I didn't feel like I belonged or wanted to be in the meetings or anything like that. I didn't enjoy it. So even though I could develop discipline doing that, then every day that I would go there, I wouldn't like it. Okay. I would be miserable. That's not how I want to live my life. But I still know I've made the decision to be sober. So I'm not going to go, oh, that can't do that. So I find another way. Okay, well, my sobriety includes doing things for my mind, body, spirit that I love to do, that I look forward to doing, find a way to move my body every single day, or find a way to develop my spiritual path that feels good and resonates with me. And that's the same for you too. You know, discipline doesn't have to be painful, but discipline is pain in some sense, because it's like we have to do it no matter how we feel about it. But there's two types of pain: the pain of discipline, the pain of self-discipline, or the pain of regret. And that's really the truth. You cannot avoid pain. You're going to experience some kind of pain. What kind of pain you experience is totally up to you. Is that pain with a payoff or pain of regret?
So yeah, you're gonna pay either way. That's the truth. So if you look at any of these experiences, like investing, right? So, or compound interest. Let's use compound interest as a framework. So rich people have a relationship with compound interest, right? And what do is they invest consistently. And over that time, they discipline, they pay themselves first, they put their money in their financial freedom account. They do whatever it is necessary with discipline, with consistency over and over and over. And then they earn the compound interest from the continued, and it builds upon each other. Well, broke people have a relationship with compound interest as well. Unlike rich people, they don't earn it, they pay it. And here's the thing, we're gonna pay either way. So if we are not consistently moving towards taking the action, investing in ourselves, in our focus and our activity, and taking care of ourselves, it's going to have the opposite effect, and we're going to experience compound interest, but in the negative, if that makes sense. Was that too cryptic?
Do you need to turn that off?
Too late. We already passed the 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. No, I think that, consistency compounds.
Right.
And no matter what kind of consistency you're putting in, it's going to compound.
So if you're consistently eating chips at the middle of the night, we may start getting some outcomes, because that will create a new habit where it gets so attached to that behavior that it can then have a compound effect on our health. I'm guilty of it as well. Sometimes I'll eat too late, and then I know that's not a good pattern to be in. What are some patterns that you've been sort of committed to that are not supporting you? Can you decide to change it, decide no more, and then create a relationship with that discipline necessary to get those results? And what would that decision be? And what would that be disciplined to what? What can you commit to?
I love Mondays. Mondays are like my really, truly one of my favorite day. Okay, I say every day is my favorite day. But Mondays I love because I get an opportunity to go into my week and set it up according to the vision and the goal and the decisions that I've made. And so I get to strategize my entire week. Okay, what's going to bring me the biggest reward? What is expected of me this week? Who do I have to be? What do I need to be doing? And what brings me the greatest return on my effort? What are the things that I'm going to do that I can really pour my heart into that are going to be the most beneficial for me? And we can feel overwhelmed thinking we have to do all these different things, but we don't. We really have to do the thing that's going to bring us the biggest reward and what's required of us, right?
And there's also a little one of those brain hacks, little mind hacks of your relationship with different words. There's the relationship with, I have to do this, and then you go, that feels like it doesn't feel good. I have to do it. I get to is a whole different pattern. I get to call these people. I get to go to the gym. I get to experience these new people. Instead of some people have, this week I'm looking at, what networking events will I be going to? Who am I going to follow up with? I've made a commitment that getting out there and meeting new people and putting myself into different environments, You know, if you don't, at first, if you're not like into going to networking events and meeting new people and doing all of that, and then you go, oh, but I have to, you're going to show up like, great. You're not going to have that same energy. But if you are grateful and you get to, like, oh my gosh, I get to go. There's these meetings around here. I get to go. I get to meet a new person, or I get to see another person, which means they get to see me, which means I get to build a relationship that will then turn into an opportunity that we can each add value to each other. That then becomes an investment in your business, in yourself. You get disciplined to make that commitment and say, I'm going to do X amount of meetings. I'm going to make X amount of phone calls. I'm going to do X amount of reps at the gym. I'm going to eat X amount of salads this week and not have X amount of cheesecake. I just made that up. I don't know, it was cheesecake. But point is that if we get to do it, we then have this different relationship. It's like, ooh, this is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And our bodies, our brains, all of that will embrace them with much more elegance, as opposed to struggling with it. Like, oh man, I have to go to this.
So I love this John Maxwell quote: decisions help us start, discipline helps us finish. And that's really the mantra that I live by. Decisions help me start, discipline helps me finish. And so part of our goal is to continue to build the seminar, training, and coaching company, right? We're going to, build retreats, certify coaches, do all these things that we want to do, right? Have clients. Part of the strategy or the discipline necessary, if we reverse engineer that goal, is to continue to serve so that people are aware how we serve them, what we do, what we can offer, start to build a platform so that we can, have exposure, right? And so one of the things, the disciplines that we decided to do is this video every day at 6:30 in the morning. There are some days I wake up and I say, oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get on there. I can't wait to do what we do. And it's going to be really great because I know exactly what I want to talk about today. And I'm so fired up about this topic. There are other days in 365 days, minus the weekends, whatever that is, where I'm going to get up and I'm going to go, I don't really know what to talk about today, or I'm not really feeling like, I'm not really sure. And that to me is totally irrelevant, okay? Because I have made the decision and I manage the decision every day. It doesn't mean I wake up and go, I don't feel like doing a live today, so I'm not going to do it. It means I already made the decision to go live every morning. I have to manage my decision, meaning what do I need to do to get myself into a state where I'm ready to go? How can I create inspiration in the morning? How can I create space? And so sometimes it's not, do I want to do this? Discipline is never about, do I want to do this? Discipline is asking better questions. How can I encourage myself to do this? How can I engage myself? How can I fire myself up? Not do I want to, how can I get on board with the decision I already made? That will change your life. When you can stop redeciding every day and manage the decision you've already made, which just requires better questions, not closed-ended, do I or don't I? How will I? If there is a way, what would the way be? And so every day when we come on here, some days it's going to be magical. It's going to be like, wow, a unicorn just flew by. Holy cow, right? Rainbows are, glitter sprinkling out. And other days it's not, but I don't, that's irrelevant to me, right? Because I am focused on the bigger picture, which is serving. We have committed every morning to serving you guys, come hell or high water. All right. So
the time will change a little bit.
The time's going to change in the summer, please. Yeah. Oh, honey, yes. It'll go like 8:30, please. Yeah. Yes, for sure. But we're committed to serving you. So imagine if we just said, well, we'll see how we feel. That's not an option, right? So successful people do things in spite of how they feel about it. And that's the discipline muscle. That's the discipline muscle. And then if we're doing things in spite of how we feel about it, we find ways to enjoy what we're doing and live in the present moment. And find ways to enjoy the discipline, like you were saying,
right?
Which you can, which sometimes you're not enjoying what you're actually doing. You're enjoying what you're envisioning is the payoff for it. Right?
And there's a saying, a life of convenience is rarely a life of extraordinary success or freedom. Right. If you're only willing to do what's easy, what's convenient, life's going to be hard because you're always going to feel like, oh, I can only do it if it's like, it's easy. But if you're willing to do what's hard, if you're willing to put in that effort, if you're willing to make that commitment and be disciplined in executing that, it'll become your new normal. You'll work that muscle, and then you will experience all of the joys on the other side because you were willing to do what's hard, and then life becomes easy. All too often, we've been conditioned to life is supposed to be like easy.
Effortless.
People's wish, and there's an element of that, but the effortlessness only comes after doing the work, after building the emotional, spiritual, and muscle otherwise.
And honestly, easy doesn't build self-esteem, and easy doesn't really give you the reward. You know, they've done these brain studies where they see where do people feel like they're most in this flow state, where they're feeling most like they're connected to their source and their spirit. And it's usually after they climb the Everest,
Right.
or while they're painting that difficult thing, or while they're doing that difficult task. And so it really is so these lives aren't just to serve you, they're also to serve us, to build our muscle of service, no matter, in spite of our independent feelings or what's happening. And we're building our ability to persevere and to develop grit, and as we grow, there'll be different ways for us to continue to do that, but we've created a win-win here, right? We're serving you, and
Because of course we're only talking
in the process. Right. All right, well, let's look into comments this morning. Good morning, Molly, we love you too.
So we have learn to live,
good morning, Annette.
Make me happy too, instead of only focusing on
morning.
others. That's right. You've got to take care of yourself. Amy, quit
That's
drinking.
right.
Great decision.
That's right.
Year and 2 months sober. Manage that decision daily as well. Beautiful. Congratulations, Amy. We love you too, Molly. I'm not sure what.
Probably discipline.
Okay. I didn't like the word. Okay.
Hey, Molly,
So
where to come say good morning?
if this has been helpful, please share this with others. Go to YouTube and find us, because we post all these also on the Revolutionary Growth TV YouTube channel. And if you have any topics, any questions that you'd love for us to address and chat about, please, by all means. And look at that little pumpkin.
Do you want to say anything to your friends this morning?
I want
No,
to
be a big girl.
I can't understand. You want to be a big girl?
My name is Elodie,
Uh-huh.
Do you have any
Anything else?
messages for the day?
and I am gonna love you forever.
I'm gonna love you forever. Can you be a big girl so we can clearly understand what you're saying?
Okay.
No,
We're going to sign off.
Okay.
All right.
That's
So
Subscribe to our video and click the subscribe button. Just click the red button and you'll come on and just click and subscribe to our video. Thank you for coming. We love who you are and who you aren't.
there you go. We love you
Thank
for who
you.
you are and
Good
who you
job.
are. And
Now
have a
we be a
great
baby.
day.
Now you can be a baby.